Spooky music.
The spooky music.
Oh
Hello.
my goodness. Hello. Now, before we start, Flex,
What?
I have a question for you.
What's the question, Hertz?
What is this on the table between us? I need you to explain to the audience and to myself what exactly it is that you have here.
It's an incense diffuser.
Diffuser?
Well, it's a
What?
reed diffuser.
A reed diffuser?
Yeah, so it like
It sounds needlessly technical.
it's well, you know, instead of because it's warm, it's
'Cause
warm
it's
now. We
summer,
can't
yeah.
use candles without making the room into a furnace and potentially lighting everything on fire.
It's true, because of the gases coming out of the computer.
So instead of my citrus candle, I have a citrus diffuser just so
Right.
that we aren't scorching and on fire by the end of this.
Just so everybody knows, so everybody understands and is like immersed in the experience
the
here.
lore.
The lore. Felix just gestured to his table, like his desk where his computer is, and he also has the candle here nearby. So if we run out of incense diffuser, we also do have the citrus candle, which we can't use on pain of death, but like it's there.
Well, I
you know?
can still leave it there and open, and you can kind of get the vague smell of it, but it doesn't like fill the room like when you light it.
Because that was my confusion when we sat down, and I was like, "What is that?" And you're like, "It's it's incense," and I was like, "Why don't you supposed to burn incense?" That's crazy. Why would you not burn the incense?
I'm not an expert here. Because
You're not? You're an expert on everything else.
One member of my family works for a place that sells all of this stuff, so we just get it.
I didn't know that.
And
The
basically,
connections.
yeah. So instead of having like a burned incense stick where it's like the material that you're burning is actually what you're getting the scent of, this just has like a reed of some kind that you stick down into oil.
Reed.
And it kind of aerosolizes, evaporates off the reeds.
Cool. Sounds cool. So what are we smelling right now? Is this also citrus?
Oh my god.
Tell me, what are we smelling? What's the
is it on
flavor
here?
of today? What is the flavor of summer?
The pack that this came in.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is important to me.
It has the brand name. That's the only one I can.
Well,
I'll
don't
tell
tell them the
you, but I'm
brand.
censoring it.
Don't tell them.
It's
You better, yeah, that's too many syllables anyway. Censor that.
the box that it came in had this like multi-paragraph description of like the scene that this scent is trying to set.
That's so
It's like
bad.
there's a river rushing underneath you.
I hate it. I hate it already. Why do we have this thing in the room? It's already
it
making me
does
feel
smell good.
fancier. It's all right. You know, it's good for the room when it gets hot and sweaty in here. Because it is summer and my jumper's off, my gloves are off. Not that I normally wear gloves, but like they're off.
When he rides is
Yeah, for
censoring
sure.
that brand name.
Why couldn't you just say motorbike? He rides. No, sorry, my penny farthing.
Because I was fishing for a particular type of
fine.
motorcycle, and the first one that jumped to my mind was the brand name because I don't know the technical name for the old-fashioned motorbikes.
No, go for a penny farthing. Penny farthings are like the classiest thing you'll ever ride, despite also looking ridiculous. That is like the biggest paradox. That's the one question I have if I was to like go back to Victorian times and like ask Queen Elizabeth like one question. I'd be like, why is the penny farthing like considered classy in your time? That's like my question because it looks stupid.
Well, because you could be high up above the commoners. That's pretty obvious.
But like you also look like a ponce.
But everyone looked like a ponce.
Like
it was Victorian England.
More of a ponce. Because the whole point is supposed to look like classy and fashionable and like well-to-do, and then you're just on like a big wheel with a smaller wheel strapped onto the back of it, and that's
Makes
that's your
perfect
horse
sense
and
to me.
carriage for the modern day.
Do you just walk down trains and say you look like a ponce riding this large rectangle with wheels?
No, because that large rectangle with wheels is not a rectangle. It's like a bullet. It's like classy. You know, it
We don't
looks
have
like.
bullet trains here.
But they look
You
kind
know
of like.
how much of a political battleground bullet trains have been in this country?
I do know. I'm very aware. I remember that one time when we laid tracks, had to rip them up, had to put them down again. And then like, oh my God. I don't know what the company was, but I know that there was some like foreign company who like they laid the tracks in and we found out they were like a little bit too small. And then we had to pay them even more money to get them to rip it back up. And so that was a whole like legal battle. Anyway, I'm dancing around the issue, but like point is trains are not good in Australia. Go to Japan. Or Britain, they at least have some class. See, they have shitty penny farthings, but they do have good trains.
The trains we do have here are pretty decent.
All right.
They're actually pretty nice trains.
Yeah.
But God, if we couldn't be doing a better job with them.
If only they ran on time.
If only.
If only. All right. Well, let's get into this spooky music.
Let's
time.
not argue about the efficacy of public transport.
Cut all of that. None of that conversation needs to see the light of day. Oh, dear.
I assume this is Takano?
Maybe it could also just be like some random person. Just like, I am the evil corporation person. But I would guess Takano because see we're getting some inner monologue.
Either that or it's Flash waiting to... What's his name? Tomataki.
Tomataki Flash?
Yes.
Why did you... Yeah, Flash. I mean, Tomataki. I'm glad that that's like ingrained in your mind now.
No, it was a name from another book we've been reading that popped into my head, and I was like, that's the wrong one, that's the wrong one, and I had to fish.
The wrong, what, photographer? What are you thinking of?
No, I was...
This is such a tangent. What is happening?
No, it's fine. Listen,
what is happening to us?
I've been rereading Naomi Hirahara's Sayonara Slam, because we're going to be speaking with her on the show.
Amika Williams. Yes. I think it's Williams. The problem is, I have a slight tangent. Cut this if it's dumb.
No.
I've repurposed Amika, that character, for one of my many role-playing games. All billion of them.
That's right.
All one of them. And
I called they'll be online by now. I can link them.
It's true. And I called the character Amika Williams, and I can't remember if Williams is like her actual name.
I'm pretty sure
story,
it is. That sounds right.
Or if I just like slapped Williams on the end because I was like, she's half Japanese, half American, or you know, Korean, as the case may be. Spoilers for Sayonara Slam.
Even though it's mentioned in like the first chapter of the story.
Look, in the story, it's presented as a mystery. So whatever, dude. It's dumb.
I love it. I can't wait to speak to Naomi about it.
It's so terrible.
Link to that episode in the description and in the card.
Oh my god, I'm just...
Anyway, thank you for waiting, Nomura-san. No, sorry. At the moment, I'm talking to a woman over the phone.
Hold on. Okay. Let me get into my voice.
Oh, go ahead.
It's not quite that extravagant, but let me just... So, how's everything going?
Going well. The festival is tomorrow.
I see. Well, that's good.
First Lieutenant Tomataki will get into an accident tomorrow night. H173, the medicine which was supposed to be destroyed, will be administered to him, and no matter what happens, it'll be a very pitiful end.
What an interesting opening. We've already finished our forgery of the proceedings. It'll show that Lieutenant Colonel Irie was trying to sell your research to foreign countries so that he can continue it.
And Tomataki's murder is a part of that?
Yes. That will be the first step for the board of directors to become suspicious of the Irie Institute. We're taking care of all that, so don't worry.
Also, regarding that, what should we do if it happens?
If what happens?
I mean, what if First Lieutenant Tomataki agrees to join us?
He isn't included in the takeover operation, is he?
Well, no, because he's an auditor for the board. If he becomes our ally, that might be beneficial to us.
According to our analysis, even if he changes his allegiance, there won't be much for us to gain. Why add another unnecessary worry to the operation?
You're right. Sorry about that. I thought we might be able to use him for something, which is why I suggested it. We'll go with the original plan then.
Takano, please. She's like, what if my man could be on board? And she's like, no. No men here. No men.
None.
None. Not even one. I think that would be better. I'll get in touch with you again. Goodbye.
Oh. For a while, I kept holding the telephone receiver lost in thought. Then I put it down and dialed a number that I had become very familiar with. Hello. Economy Hotel, Akinomiya.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Get out of your butt. Who could Takano possibly be calling at this moment?
Sorry, I thought that it was Takano introducing herself to the hotel, not the hotel entry. Is that points? Can we take points for that?
Yeah, we can take a point. 1 point.
1 point.
Just 1 point. Hello, Economy Hotel Okonomiya. How may I assist you?
Hello, could you connect me to room 406, the one belonging to Tomataki? Please tell him Takano is calling.
Sure, I'll connect you. 1 moment, please.
The telephone operator put me on hold, leaving behind only electronic music. I waited about a minute through the Skrillex, and the operator came back on again.
Yep. I'm sorry, the guest in room 406 is not in his room right now. Would you like to leave a message?
That's okay, I already left a few of them.
Oh.
Do you know when he left the hotel? Do you know when he'll be back?
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't answer that.
I see. I'll call again. I put down the phone before the operator finished speaking.
Rude.
This is the 3rd time I've tried calling him. I left a message telling him to call me back, but he hasn't. Why?
Is it the same receptionist?
Is he out taking photographs by himself? Or is he waiting for me behind the shrine where we usually meet? How is it that him being out of town hasn't popped up in Nomura's, like, analysis of the situation?
I don't know. They're not expecting things to change. Maybe Nomura is also omnipotent. Who knows?
Isn't that, like, exactly the opposite of how that would work? If she was omnipotent, she would know, right?
Not, you know what I mean? Like, time-traveling person.
Right.
There's a term I want to use, but I don't want to use it. You know, Rika, you know.
I catch you cold. I catch you coronavirus.
You catch my magic spell. Cut that.
Who would I think would actually come all the way here expecting him to be waiting for me? I'm even surprised myself. People are in the middle of setting up tomorrow's festival. Tents are being put up for food stalls and preparations for various events are taking place. It's almost too noisy for me. What with people shouting as they work, plus the noise from the batteries for the stalls.
Oh, Takano.
You know, actually, I guess it makes sense if Nomura is really just making a power play, hasn't put in any effort, and is just manipulating her.
Oh god, no. She's like, my underlings will do all of the work, and I simply must reap the rewards.
Yeah. Soon I reached the back of the shrine before realizing it. This is probably the best view in the whole village. This is where Jiro-san and I usually meet. Just maybe he's waiting for me here. Of course, that's just wishful thinking. God will never grant my wishes. He only has a bit of fun by testing me.
Oh, Takano's self-pity.
I look down at the village below, letting the breeze blow through my hair.
Like
he usually follows me around while he stays in Hinamizawa. He persistently asks if I want to go out to eat, go for a walk, or take some photographs with him. But he hasn't done any of that this visit. His behavior towards me has changed.
Uh-oh. She's becoming suspicious.
Maybe it's because he heard about the horrible impression I left with the new board of directors. Maybe he thinks I'm a mad scientist because of that incident.
Thinks?
I can feel that he's gradually losing interest in me. But I had my own complaints too. When I don't want him around, he's so persistent. When I need him to listen to me, I can't get a hold of him.
Aww.
But if I did get through to him, what would I even talk about? What could I talk to him about, right after talking to someone about the plan to assassinate him? Why should he even answer my call? I'm simply running wildly, and when I reach the point of no return, I'll want to be forgiven, and I want him to do that for me. Just because he always does whatever I want him to, and shows up whenever I need him. Who would forgive someone like me? Someone who has nowhere to go but capital H hell.
Stop that. She's a flower from hell. Get out of life.
Would he forgive me out of sympathy? No. He'll be surprised. He'll do his job and arrest me. I am a member of the SDF after all. So what I'm doing is committing treason. I've been thinking about him a lot for the past few days. And just now, I realized something. He's not attractive at all as a man.
No!
He has no sense of humor or good taste.
No!
He has nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, he has a belly.
Yeah.
There's nothing appealing about him.
No!
He doesn't care about my schedule. He's persistent, and when I treat him nicely because I'm in a good mood, he becomes even more persistent. Really is absolutely nothing good about him. Despite his age, he tells me things like how the last time he held a woman's hands was when he did folk dancing at some summer camp. Furthermore, he says those things to make me laugh. He's hopeless. But more than anything, I can't stand when he completely ignores my feelings. I want to be alone sometimes. I don't want to do anything sometimes. Yet he drags me out, completely ignoring how I feel. That's why, even when I'm exhausted or I don't feel like doing anything, I end up going with him, which makes me laugh. I always thought that just wore me out, yet I want him to drag me around and I'll probably never feel this way again. And yet he's not here. Do I really believe I don't want to spend time with him? Maybe I've just grown used to his abundant affection. When he took me out on a day I didn't want to do anything, I was in a bad mood at first, but after a while I started to feel better and found myself having a lot of fun. If he was with me now, would he take me out to photograph birds like always? Would he happily explain it all with his know-how even though I didn't ask? It'd be very boring and troublesome, but that's honestly what I want right now. Do I see my grandpa in him? I loved my grandpa. He gave me a purpose to live. I needed him. I loved Uncle Koizumi. He helped me with my dream. I needed him. After both of them died, maybe I just sought their aspects in him. Am I starving for a protector? Maybe I'm so traumatized by my parents' accident that I need to have someone nearby to watch over me all the time. Maybe I'm still immature. My inner child is throwing a fit because she can't put together a toy, saying that if it's going to be broken anyway, she's going to break it herself. It won't be just my problem. It'll bring about huge, irreversible tragedy. But that's the only way to prove the truth of my grandfather's work. That belief allowed me to prepare up to this point. In just a few days, the top members of the government will be scrutinizing my grandfather's article, and terrified by the worst-case scenario he predicted, they'll regret canceling our research and neglect countermeasures as they pass their final resolution. That's when my grandfather's article will become truth, his great work uplifted and his name carved into the pages of history. And then, he will become a god, an eternal existence.
Come as gods.
And I will reveal the god worshipped as Oyashiro-sama to the Hinamizawa syndrome, casting them down to earth. I'm going to complete the fifth curse of Oyashiro-sama with Jiro-san's death, as well as my own. I'll become the one who curses, not the one who is cursed. I'll be in the position to test, instead of being tested. I will ascend to godhood. I'm going to make the curse a reality. I'm going to kick the god of this place off her throne. And then grandfather and I will be together. Forever. Gods don't get tested. Fate doesn't test gods. No grief will separate us. You know...
How long? I thought it was like, how long is it going to take you to like speak up here?
I mean, listen.
Which part of that conversation you want to talk about?
I mean, this is all fine. This is all just talking or whatever. I don't have many complaints, but I do.
I don't think you have complaints. You have a complaint?
No, it's the line that's interested me here is fate doesn't test gods.
When it clearly is doing that.
Well,
yes.
No, not even that. But I mean, listen. We know from the history of this show, I'm not the religiously text inclined.
Okay, what's your thought here?
Isn't it like a trope in religious texts that like the doubters test God? Isn't that just that's like a facet of every religion, right?
Maybe. I mean, people test God and then they get smitten is usually what happens. But like that's what happens in most religions. When you like test God, you're like, yeah, God can't do this.
Isn't there that story of the guy who's like, wet the blanket, God, and God's like, I wet the blanket, and then he's like, all right, wet everything except the blanket.
I don't know that story. Is that a Bible story?
I swear that's a Bible story.
It might be one of the Old Testament ones that I just don't remember. But like most of the stories where people are like, God, I bet you can't do this. I mean, the one that I can think of is Job from the Old Testament, but then that's devil being like, God, I bet you can't like make this person still believe in you. But that's more of a test for Job than anybody else. God's just like flexing at that point.
I guess that's
I don't know, like in Greek mythology, it's always mortals being tested by gods. Gods are frequently like criticized for what they do, but they're not tested. They just do whatever the fuck they want. I don't know, like, I would say that, yeah, in this story, like, Hanyu was being tested. Shout out to the end of Arc 7, but, like, I don't know. Most gods test mortals, and just kind of do their own thing, I guess.
Yeah, I guess explicitly the idea that fate doesn't test gods. Like, people will test their gods and ask questions of them, but
there are some, like, that's the thing, right? When we talk about the idea of testing, like, fate doesn't really test gods. Gods can test other gods, but usually they're like trying to murder them or trick them. That's another thing that happens a lot in Norse mythology. That happens when Loki gets Baldur shot with an arrow made of I'm so close. What is it made from? Mistletoe. It's made of mistletoe. That's like a trick test, but like Not in this way. The idea is generally that a god is powerful enough that they cannot be tested. They either are not tested in any meaningful way, or they are doomed to an eternal test because that's just what that god does. Like holding up the world or pushing a boulder up a hill.
I see.
Right? That's just like what they do now. Because gods in mythology, they exist in a sort of perpetual state where they just are one way a lot of the time. Anyway,
which is also, it's a very interesting like separation from the idea of the modes of myth we've been talking about, because like the modes of myth is typically explaining phenomenon and why you do things, whereas the idea of testing your god is kind of the inverse, right? It's almost like a weird experimentation in a way.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm sure there are times when Jesus in the Bible is like asked to show his power, and he like does. He's just like, yeah, sure, here's a power. And like in that sense, like you are testing them to ensure that they are the real God.
Yeah.
That's probably where you're getting that wet blanket story from, similar sort of thing. But like it is never a struggle for those gods to do those things. They're more like annoyed that they have to like prove that they're a god. It's not like a struggle for them.
Yeah.
Right. The gods who struggle are like, well, not gods, but like Sisyphus and Prometheus, like characters who are doomed to eternal suffering, that sort of thing. Or the devil, in a sense, being like condemned to hell, that sort of thing.
Condemned to a really bad TV show where it goes on for more seasons than it needs to, but and then the main actor changes.
Did they change the main actor?
Apparently.
It's so funny.
Well, they haven't done it yet, apparently, for the next season
Why?
of the show.
Is he sick of his easy paycheck?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Absolutely none.
That seems disappointing to me, but anyway. But anyway, I did actually want to talk about this scene. You've kind of blurred all thoughts of the scene from my mind, but like, I do like that we're getting a lot of like ironic statements from Takano. Like, you know, Fate doesn't test gods when like Hanyu is being tested. It's like really cool. And I like that we're essentially putting Takano in the same position that like the club members have been in, like very explicitly, where she's like shutting Tomitake out. Flash out. She's like, yo, he'd never listen to me if I told him my problems. There's no way that Mion and Rena would tell me what's really going on in this town, so I better murder them with a bat.
That's right.
That's what Takano said.
Hold on, that's not what Takano says.
But yeah, like I like that we're taking this time here. I'm actually really enjoying this scene, just like getting to see the inside of her head. And it actually makes me wonder whether she has a similar moment like this in every arc, you know, before like the big villain moment where she finally like she just resolves to go through with it, and she's hit the point of no return. She's hit that moral event horizon, and she's like, well, no more time for crying now.
Spaghettification it is.
Like, I've committed too hard to the bit. I have to commit. Get me my Nazi uniform. Let's go. You know, like, well, Commandant, you know, whatever. Not necessarily Nazi, but it's pretty, I'm talking about. You get what I'm putting down, don't you? You picking up what I'm putting down? You know, she's got that fascism.
I would have just called it an edgy uniform because we can't.
That works too.
Can't take him seriously.
We can't politicize things. Look, if Mel Brooks has taught me anything, it's that you can't.
That's right.
Make fun of politics.
No politics.
No politics are allowed in the theater.
Absolutely not.
Because that's how you sink a production. One might say.
That's right.
Shout out to the producers. What a great movie.
Fate doesn't test gods. No grief will separate us. I'll be with my grandfather forever.
Oh no.
After that, I'm going to work on our research together in that study filled with the smell of formalin.
Which we know what that is. Also, she's clearly delusional.
We do know what that is.
I wish that we'd had that conversation just one line later. That's okay.
It wouldn't be this show if we had tangents at appropriate points in time.
To be fair, that was entirely your fault. Okay, let's go. A scene from Happier Days.
A scene from Happier Days. Grandpa's writing at his desk, writing something.
Dom-de-dom.
Grandpa's at his desk, writing something down.
Dom-de-dom.
I'm in a good mood, lying on my stomach on the carpet right behind him, while flapping my legs and humming a tune.
Dom-de-dom.
If I help him with his research by organizing his book as if I were playing with blocks. To return to those times is my only wish.
Aw. She just wants to have a family.
Of course, if I could go back that far, I'd want my parents to be alive too. If I could play with my grandpa's books while listening to my mother cooking in the kitchen and my father flipping through his newspaper, that would complete my happy world.
And the flag.
It would be my ideal childhood.
The flag, though.
But that world doesn't have a door to the outside world. So I can't go over to my friend's house. Because if I do go to my friend's house, there wouldn't be anybody there when I returned. Nobody. Because they'd have all died in a train accident. So I don't want an outside world. I want to stay in my house with my parents and my grandfather.
An impossible past, an impossible present, a depressing future.
I am a doctor after all. I can analyze myself. Know that what I'm wishing for is proof of my immaturity. But if I know that much, why do I still long for a parental figure in Jiro-san? Even as I plan an operation which includes his death, I'm still trying to hang on to him. If I'm going to betray people so I can become a god, then I should remain a villain until my final moments.
There it is.
But if I'd rather be a lonely little girl, then I should remain modest and humble until my final moments. Either way, if it is my way of life, nobody can criticize me for it. Because if I believe it is right, then all I can do is go on without listening to such criticism.
So this is the crossroads, right?
But I still can't decide. So I want somebody to criticize me. Nobody has ever criticized my way of life. That's why I want to hear someone do it. I want someone to tell me my way of life is wrong. I want Jiro-san to tell me I've done such a stupid thing and I want him to slap me. Such masochistic desires speak a great deal as to how much I'm rejecting my present self. Am I really still longing for a parent? I'm too old to call myself immature. Even if I do, nobody else will. No matter how immature I am inside, people will treat me as a grown person. They'll say I possess an adult's responsibility and proper judgment, that they've brought me this far already. Then I'll be judged before the devil. Will I still plead not to judge my immature self as a grown-up?
I wonder how much of this is like Ryukishi, not, being a psychopathic villain, obviously, but just like...
Who knows?
Maybe. Because, look, I haven't ever spoken with the man, and he only speaks in Japanese, so I can't judge 100%, but, like, the way he presents himself in interviews and in media releases and that sort of thing, like, he seems to be kind of immature, like, very, like, honest, and, like he seems younger than he is. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I wonder if this whole idea that he's putting forward, Takano, is, like, do I have the right to, like, call myself immature and irresponsible? Like, is there room for me to, like, put my adult responsibilities aside, that sort of thing? I wonder if that's, like, something that Ryukishi is sort of, thinking about and grappling with, I guess.
I don't know. It's like, I mean, I'm not going to fish at Ryukishi's character because I haven't seen nearly as much of him. But it is kind of interesting that, like, even though it's kind of open to the idea of the terrible things that Takano's done already, this monologue is kind of forgetful of them in a way.
Sure.
Like, she's committed heaps of people to their deaths, and she's done lots of unethical science, and she's manipulated a bunch of people.
Well, this is her own perspective of herself, right? This is the way she's internalizing her own guilt and all the pain that she even said, like, she's aware of it. She is super culpable in the way that she's acting in this moment where, like, I know that I'm going to, like, kill thousands of people, but, like, if it's, the way that I've chosen to live my life and these are the decisions that I'm making, like, can anybody truly judge me but myself? Especially if I become God, then, like, that's a really interesting angle, right? If she, in her mind, becomes a god, becomes a higher being, who can judge her, right? Like, if it's the whole, like, ends justify the means argument. And that's the way that she's trying to satisfy her own conscience and, like, grapple with the idea of killing her boyfriend. Like, that's what she's saying when she says, there's really nothing attractive about him at all. And I totally don't like him,
Is this an ends justify the means thing, though? Because, like, well, it's more saying that the ends, like, ignore the means, because
it's the same thing.
Well, no, because, like, the ends justify the means would be to say that it is, like, it is okay for me to kill this because the result is that, more people would come out on the other side better. Whereas here it's saying, I'm guilty as fuck, I'm culpable for it, but nobody can say anything once I'm more powerful than them.
Well, hold on now. Her end isn't that she wants to have more people come out on top in the end. Her end is that she becomes a god.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's what the difference is, right?
Is that a difference? I think that's just a slight difference, like in terminology.
I guess I'm thinking of
feel
ends in terms of like
feel that's this-
utilitarianism.
I'm not talking about philosophical like debate here. I'm talking about her end goal is X, and she sees any means of like, because she says like the only way of becoming a god is to prove that her grandfather's research is correct.
Well, the other distinction there though is that like, it's almost like it's more again that point of no return where she's saying like, I have done the wrong thing, and the only way is to commit. Right? It's not like.
I think she's still debating on like that she hasn't quite gone over the deep end yet. I think that this moment here that we're seeing, this is like her deciding whether she's going to go over the edge or not. And if she does, she needs to commit wholly to the role. Otherwise, she needs to become, the meek little girl and give up on that goal completely right this second. This is like the decision-making moment.
Yeah, I feel like we're arguing slightly different things here. But
like, it's okay. That's what we're here for. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just really appreciating this as like a little bit peeking into Ryukishi's mind, but also seeing like, because, God, what do we want to like wrap that point? I feel like we got so caught up in the argument that my mind is kind of wavered a bit. But like, I just appreciate that we're seeing Takano's self-justification, because this, again, is, reminiscent of the club members when they were all doing horrible things. And, Shion had her point of no return when she was like, I will embrace the demon, which is her, like, fully giving in to Hinamizawa syndrome, right? Sadako pushes Keiichi off the end because she's like, you have become something that I don't recognize anymore, Keiichi, so I'm going to push you off. And then everybody gets blown up. Keiichi does it in Arc 1, Renner in Arc 6, where she takes hold of the school. Like, every character, like, does bad things up to those points in one method or another, except for maybe Sadako. But, like, but my point is, generally speaking, these characters, like, do bad things. They doubt their friends. They take bats that don't belong to them. They make fun of people. They push people away. But there's always a moment in every arc where the character does something that they cannot come back from. And what Takano is doing here, this is my point. Takano is saying, if I go over that point, which we know she does in every single arc, so arguably she has, can she come back from even there, even beyond the brink? And in accordance with like the internal logic of the series, that's something that happened with Renner in Arc 6. But like, where do we draw that line? Like you can come back from taking a school and murdering two, shitty thug type people, but like Takano has murdered thousands of people in countless timelines.
If you kind of broaden it across the story a bit, then the kind of structural decision to have Renner come back from the brink at Arc 6 at the end of Arc 6, followed by Takano going over the brink and so much further at the end of Arc 7 is a very explicit parallel there.
Of course it is. Yes. And that's why it's so important when Takano faces down Renner and Renner says that, oh, Shiro-sama exists. Like that moment of confrontation is so important to like show the duality between those characters. Anyway, but yeah, point is Takano's dealing with some shit. We should read this scene.
Nah, we can skip it.
Okay.
Am I going to act that pathetically even in front of the devil?
No.
I'm already going to hell. I can't completely become a devil.
See?
I hate the idea of hell, yet I refuse to try and repent.
It's a decision.
My mind can only float in a lake of blood, drifting as I drown.
It's like not making decisions. She just can't do it.
I like that line.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a very kind of poetically written one.
Yeah.
That's another debate to have. We talk about that another time.
What debate?
Just like
foreshadow it for us.
Oh, just kind of the whole modern writing abandoning adjectives in favor of like efficiency, and whereas I much prefer the like writing that is sonically poetic.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, that's sort of a lot of Ryukishi's writing is, at least certainly Higurashi it is.
Well, that's translated though. Like, there's a difference between poetry being like eloquent and symbolic with words, and
sure.
when you try to do like the sibilant sounds because you're talking about a snake.
Sure. It gets a bit silly sometimes. I think that's where you got to kind of draw the line. But yeah, we should talk about that another time.
If only Jiro was here.
If only.
My mind would clear up as I played along with his insensitive chatter.
And then I would murder him.
Why isn't he around when I need him the most? This is the last chance I'll have to spend time with him.
Yeah.
I hate how immature I am, becoming so insecure just because he isn't around.
Yeah, and I mean, I love... Sorry, last tangent, I promise.
No, it won't be. I don't promise anything.
I love that, because a very common trope in murder mystery is to have the killer be someone who, like, obviously knew the victim, and good murder mysteries will often have them be like a friend or a lover or a parent or a child or a childhood best
Good
friend.
murder mysteries will have a compelling motive.
Yes,
Ben Hur 2021.
This is what I'm trying to say. My point is though that like because we're dealing with this like time loop narrative, Ryukishi is able to portray like we're not like, okay, Takano's the murderer, cut her away, we did it, everybody. And then the detective just like monologues for 3 chapters about the reasons why the murder happened. But in this, we get to like have these proper scenes with her like debating, should I kill this person? Like it's like a flashback, right? Except it's like very extended and very like character study-ish. I don't know. I just like that Rikishi's taking the time to be like, I love this person, but in order to like pursue my higher goals, I need to, I don't know, offer them up, as it were. I find that to be just a really interesting angle, and the fact that we're like getting time to explore it because of the structure of the story. Like, I love that. I love that shit.
I found myself before the offertory box. I came here when the Irie Clinic's construction had ended and the research at the Irie Institute was about to begin. I remember how bravely I challenged the god of this place.
Wait, hold on. Does she remember Hanyu?
Of course she does.
What?
I was full of hope and ambition. After going through many hardships, I finally came this far. I even felt I would become a god. So I did so in front of the god of this place. I can vaguely recall my grandfather telling me a story similar to that.
Oh my god, okay.
That's right. It was the story of the Tower of Babel.
It doesn't end well.
When there was only one language in this world, all people lived in one place with one will. In a display of their authority, they started to build a tower that would reach heaven. God got angry because these people had forgotten how to show respect to him. He believed all of man gathered to commit such an affront because they all shared one language and one will. So their communion was shattered. People were thrown into disorder, and they were given many different languages so they wouldn't be able to communicate with each other.
That's how language works.
And as they couldn't communicate with each other, many left, and the tower which challenged heaven fell to ruin. Something like that, anyway. Not sure what the lesson is.
That's the best line.
But this is what my grandfather explained to me. Building a tower that reaches up to heaven is the greatest challenge for humans, but it is also a challenge to God. To challenge God was truly sinful, but as humans we couldn't help but test that untrodden peak. Something, building unity to build tower. Ben, it's the story's thematics!
I know.
Oh my god!
It's okay, she's gonna do it on her own. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It's not easy to build a tower that's high enough to reach heaven. While they're building the tower, the people will fall into disharmony and lose the mutual understanding they once started with. Their united will is thrown into disarray.
When they catch Hinamizawa syndrome and then they start murdering each other.
Ben, hold on. You're reaching now. You're reaching.
I'm just, well, this line here is what I'm excited about. I thought she was going to argue that but if one person's burned the tower, then there can be no disharmony. But let's see what Takano thinks about the folly of man.
This applies not just to a group of people, but can be said about one person as well. No matter how solid their will, the closer they come to heaven, the more limits God imposes on man.
Okay, I like it. Good sidestep, Ryukishi.
So even iron wills are sure to waver at some point.
But my will is titanium. Wait, unobtainium. There we go.
It is just too arrogant for humans to think that they can always carry out their original intentions. That must have been what my grandfather was thinking deep down. I'm sure he lost hope many times since nobody ever recognized the value of his research. Yet he believed in himself, and he believed that someday his work would be accepted. Maybe that was his wish, rather than reaching heaven.
But are they not the same thing?
Grandfather realized he wouldn't be able to complete his research. Maybe he was trying to find where he could compromise. Humans can't build a tower that reaches heaven, but the story of the Tower of Babel is still around. Or is it Babel? I don't actually know.
It's fine. I think Babel's technically the term, but it's fine. Either one's fine. Language is dumb. Just do whatever feels good. I'll do Babel, you do Babel.
Sounds good.
Okay.
It didn't reach heaven, but we still tell the story of that tower that challenged God.
The Tower of Babel.
According to the story, the tower was left behind with nobody to work on it. The incomplete tower stayed in that place for a long time, never achieving its goal. But if someone were to see it, they would realize how great it was that someone accepted that challenge and praised their name. I took over the tower from my grandfather and tried to make it reach heaven, but I ended up succumbing to the same fate. And if it is going to be destroyed anyway, I will try to destroy it myself.
I love it.
What am I doing, anyway? If I hadn't tried to continue grandfather's research, his work on Hinamizawa syndrome would have remained forever. Even if it was an empty tower that nobody ever visited, if somebody did come by, they would praise whoever attempted that challenge. They would have praised my grandfather. But I took over his work, and I built the tower even closer to heaven, which made God angry, and the tower is now going to be destroyed. The tower will become a pile of rubble. When the Irie Institute is shut down, all of its records will be destroyed. My grandfather's wish for his work to be appreciated by someone will never be granted. I tried to make my grandfather an eternal existence, yet I ended up making that an impossibility. How can I call myself Mio Takano? Instead of inheriting the 1, 2, 3 from my grandfather and continuing the count to 3, 4.
I've counted to 0. Oh my god!
I reduced it all to that thing the other person in the room
There it
said.
is!
If it wasn't for me, my grandfather's work would have remained an empty tower, would have stayed in this world forever. But I ruined it. I did that.
Hecked up.
I can feel myself sweating. Sweat reminds me that I've done something inexorable. When did I make a mistake? Where did I go wrong? It wasn't when I came here. It was before that. I started to walk down the wrong path long before that. If I put myself in my grandfather's spot, I know. My grandfather was working on a great challenge. He built a mighty tower, and it was supposed to continue to stand there and wait for someone to appreciate it. Grandfather definitely said he wanted his work to be valued by someone even after his death. But I misunderstood. Somewhere along the way, I made a wrong turn. I misinterpreted grandfather's wish and I ruined it. I ruined everything. I tried to make him an eternal existence, yet I destroyed him. Grandfather built an eternal tower, yet I raised it. Where did I make a mistake? What went wrong? It's obvious. My grandfather counted to 3
What?
and with that it was complete. I simply tried to do more with addition and everything collapsed and now all of it is ruined.
Takano can't do math.
I shouldn't have tried to count to 4. I shouldn't have done anything. Besides, grandfather didn't even ask me to continue his research. Little girl shouldn't play in this dark study. Go outside and play with your friends. I remember my grandfather telling me things like that. But I refused and I stayed in the study so I could help him. And eventually he stopped telling me to play outside and just enjoyed having my company while he worked.
Twisting memories.
But when we first met, he used to say things like that.
Binding
what?
yourself with these chains of memories.
Living with Grandpa was the first mistake I made.
No.
Then what? When I escaped the orphanage, I shouldn't have called Grandpa. I shouldn't have found a 10-yen coin. I shouldn't have asked Grandpa to help me. Now I remember.
Oh my god.
I know where I belong.
Bang, 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 bang.
The noise of something metal striking something else is getting closer. It's getting closer and closer. I'm not allowed to fall asleep. I wasn't asleep. I just had my eyes closed, that's all. Sorry.
Damn you!
I'm sorry. I won't do it again. I'm sorry.
Come on! Damn
Sorry.
it! Bang, 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 bang.
Don't kick. I'm afraid of the metal sound. Please don't kick it. I'm not being kicked, but the noise is kicking. So please don't kick. Please don't kick the metal fence, please. My body is getting cracked. I think my body is getting cracked. All the dirty, itchy, and painful things soak into those cracks, and the filth, the prickling, it'll feel horrible. It's soaking into my chest, gathering together. I desperately try to resist it so that it won't touch my heart, but the dirtiness and itching draw together more and more. My whole chest is soaked, and soon enough my face will be swallowed. Even drowning in this dirtiness and itching, I desperately try to hold my breath so that at least my heart won't be soaked with it.
Ah, damn it! Ah! Bang, bang. Ah, more blanks. There's so many blanks!
So much blank.
Blanks! Bang, bang, bang.
I can't hold my breath any longer. I drown in an ocean of muck, and
God.
yet, as I'm taking on the muck, my heart desperately struggles to not be tainted by it, to rise above it until my heart too sinks into the sea of grime. Only creatures that have lived on land will grasp and suffer the pain of drowning as they long to return to dry land. Creatures that have always lived in the ocean never drown.
I mean, they suffer something pretty bad if they get on land, but that's fair.
Grandpa won't come help me. That is the best thing for me and him both. I am all of those things.
Blank.
See, when I stop struggling, there is no more noise. I don't have to hear that scary metal noise. Is it a roar or a yell? I need to borrow strength to scream in order to come back to the present world. My body is all sweaty. It feels dirty, itchy, painful. It reminds me of that day. I can feel welts coming on as the sweat crawls down my skin. No, it's just a delusion. It can't be itchy. Because all of that is long over. I take a bath every day. I scrub my body so that it turns raw and red.
Oh, God.
So not even the slightest drop of that horrible filth could possibly remain. I can't help it. I remember the filth. I can only get rid of it by scratching my arm so hard it leaves marks. I can't get rid of the itching. I can't get rid of the filth. Of course I can't. I'm a filthy existence. Grandpa should never have saved someone like me. Meeting me made him unhappy. I shouldn't have existed.
There it is.
I shouldn't have been
born.
There
it is.
Should have stayed inside that metal fence and spent my whole life there. Need to go back inside it. I should never have left. That place is where I belong.
It's a classic Bioshock Infinite problem.
Corner me with that horrible noise. Crush me with that filth, itchiness and pain. And then kill me. So that I'll never meet Grandpa.
How far do you have to go back to stop the problem? Is that your wish?
Yes. Much like those left behind at the top of Babel's crumbling tower, or Babel's crumbling tower, or Icarus, unable to reach heaven only to fall. That is my final wish. Bring me back inside that metal fence and give me back the fate that's suitable for my filthy existence.
The wish of a liar will never come true.
But I'm not a liar.
You have spoken your true wish once, yet you have yet to realize that is your ultimate, greatest wish. And I cannot grant that wish just yet.
Are you saying that's the punishment we sinful humans face for challenging God?
You should already know. The strength of your desire is what creates the future. You lack that strength.
Are you saying I haven't tainted myself enough? Will even the gates of hell remain shut for someone not fully committed like me?
Is that the scene? What's happening? What is happening?
There are so many weird cuts in this passage.
It's so weird. It's very much like, oh my god, we're just going to cut to Akasaka. That scene is very much supposed to put you in Takano's fragmented mind state, which I love, by the way. Nothing like that is in the anime as far as I can remember, so I'm loving that.
Nothing good is in the anime, as we've learned over
nothing
the course
good
of
is in there. Why did I even watch it? Why did it even change my life? How could it do that? That's dumb. I'm an anime only fan. That's a poor choice of words.
How dare you?
But yeah, no, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed just getting to see oh, this is how Takano is breaking down. She's feeling itchy, which is the thematic that we've seen before. It's fun.
It is.
It is.
Rika-chan, Sadako-chan, how are you feeling? Oh. Do we get a point for that?
I don't know. So here's the thing. You said before, last time we came to this house, you said it was obvious that Akasaka would never talk to someone over the phone. So do you think that it was obvious in hindsight Akasaka couldn't be talking to these guys because, how would he communicate with them?
Well, my impression...
If you could reason to me how he would be communicating with them...
Well, we didn't see the phone when we came in, did we?
You're not wrong.
So I was assuming that someone had come to visit, presumably Irie.
Okay.
I was my brain had assumed there was that it was Akasaka about to ask Rika-chan, Sadako-chan, how are they doing?
Okay.
So is this a valid points claim?
God, I hate these. I think we will take 2 points, but no more.
Sounds good.
I think 2 points is reasonable because I also was under the impression, so it's reasonable. Yeah, I think I am the master of what is fair. After all,
It is your line.
It is my line. I'm glad you waited for me. Ika-chan, Satoko-chan, how are you feeling? Is Irie? As Akasaka-san warned me, I have to be careful. The other thing I will say to justify those points is that we're being shown the inside of the building.
Correct.
And why would we expect Irie to be asking about those characters from inside the building where he cannot be seen by the Secret Service people? So
That is an excellent question.
these are all interesting
For
questions.
the philosophers of our time.
Let us know in the comments. Why would that even be the case? As Akasaka-san warned me, I have to be careful. Akasaka-san opens the door quickly.
Silently, I think.
Sorry, I could not tell.
Sorry.
Let us know in the comments. We are not looking back. We never look back. That is what we Germans do. We never look back and see history.
How are you doing?
Hold on.
It's bustling outside, huh?
Oh, yeah. Everyone is busy getting ready for tomorrow's festival. I bought some shaved ice for you, courtesy of the refreshment stand committee.
I hope he brought 2, otherwise someone's gonna notice.
I know. Also, what's the flavor? Is it something that Rika would like? Is it like blueberry? Let's have some.
Thank you for that. I'll have it.
That means that Irie also gets some. What a nerd. Akasaka-san is wearing a t-shirt, but he's still drenched in sweat. All the windows have been shut and he can't even open the curtains, so it's very hot outside, or inside as well. But even accounting for that, he's still sweating like a madman. Oh, look at how sweaty you are. It sure is hot in here. You best get that shirt off, you dirty man.
No, I was exercising a little. Of course, I tried to keep
Obviously.
it very quiet.
He's working out.
Just staying prepared for anything, that's all.
So you can rescue Rico with his big manly arms. Oh, a little exercise helps refresh people. I'm sure you've been under a lot of stress for the last few days. You must be exhausted mentally too.
No, I'm used to that kind of thing, but I really appreciate you bringing in some stuff.
Akasaka-san smiled like a happy little child as he ate the strawberry-flavored shaved ice. Delicious. Oh, you better not take our sprites away from us, you monster.
So has there been anything yet? Have you heard from Tamataki-san?
Flash. Oh, no, nothing yet. But Takano-san was saying she can't get a hold of him.
That's right, he changed his hotel, huh? Do you think she's noticed something?
Oh, probably. No, maybe not. I don't think she has. I told her he's probably just going around taking lots of little pictures of the birds.
It's only a matter of time before she becomes suspicious. There'll be a strong wind soon, one way or another. Dr. Irie, please, be very careful.
Yeah, of course. Oh, by the way, I just saw Oishi-san and he told me to tell you something. I explained the 48-hour operation to Akasaka-san. Akasaka-san seemed impressed with the notion, especially because I told him it came from the girls.
It's a fantastic idea. That'll shake up our enemy quite a bit. We'll give Tamataki-san a big opportunity to find out something too. So when is the operation going to take place?
That will be decided when they meet with Orishi-san tonight, but since we don't have much time, it may be as early as tomorrow morning.
I see. It's pretty stressful just waiting for a battle to begin. If there's something we can do, we might as well just do it.
Your time in Hinamizawa is limited too, so how much longer can you stay?
I told Yukie that I should be home by midnight on Sunday, but if the situation changes, I might have to stay here longer. She's a policeman's wife. She'll understand.
Wow, that's putting a lot on your wife, dude. Come on now. You can't even call her from here, huh? I am sorry to put you in this situation.
Don't worry. It's not like we're newlyweds. She won't divorce me just for not calling her every night.
But if she did, I would not blame her after all this nonsense. Also, he says that it is easy to tell that Akasaka-san wants to hear the sound of her voice. So have there been any changes on your end? If there's anything you need, I will bring it.
I really don't need anything yet. Any changes? It's hard to say. There are just too many people going in and out for the festival. Even if there's someone suspicious among them, I can't tell. We should assume our enemies are hidden among them, so we should be on our guard.
That sounds about right. By the way, the mountain dogs are starting to move just as you said. When I asked Okanogi about their plans, he says he's raising the security level for the days surrounding the festival to take into account the possibility that some criminal might use the 5th year of the curse to target Rika-chan.
Wouldn't that be strange?
That would be strange.
And that matches the situation right now. Almost looks like all the preparations, officially and unofficially, are going smoothly for tomorrow's festival.
So you're saying tomorrow is going to be a festival in more ways than one, then? If the 48-hour operation gets underway tomorrow morning, it'll be quite the turbulent day. Yeah, everything will change starting tomorrow. June 19th, 1983. A tempestuous day that divides a peaceful world from a tragic one. This seems like... Well, you know what? Fuck it. The face of the world will change on that day.
What were you going to say there?
I was going to say that might not be Irie talking, but it doesn't matter. I still like the idea that he's like, you know...
That's his narration. It's fine.
It's part of the same chapter. It just doesn't sound like something that Irie would say, like, the fate of the world.
Well, he thinks he's a spy now.
You know what? You're not wrong. He's going full Chuny on us. Are you familiar with that term? Do you know what Chuny is?
I do not know what that term is.
A Chuny is usually a young person who takes on the persona of a fictional character, you know, just make their lives more interesting.
I see.
It's called Chunibyo. That's like what people call it when they see it. So a kid will come to school and be like, I am the scientist who will seal the darkness with my magic hand. Everyone's like, well, show us your magic hand. Like, no, it must remain sealed.
I see.
And they like fully commit to a character. That's like the basic idea of what a Chunibyo is. Anyway, he's going full Chuny is the point. I finished my secret spy meeting with Akasaka-san and left while calling up to the second floor window, pretending to address the girls, which she couldn't have figured out by context. It's okay. When some villagers saw me do that, they asked how they were doing. They asked me about both girls, which made me very happy on the inside. What Oyo-san said yesterday was already spreading among the villagers like a little virus. In other words, the curse of Oisho-sama may have already lifted, even before tomorrow's festival. If nothing happens tomorrow, then this village is finally free from the curse and the ghost of the dam conflict. As we prepare for the oncoming battle, I realize the extent of the responsibility we've taken on. But at the same time, that gives me strength. Okay. After greeting officials under the main tent, I ran into Takano-san, who was in a very mentally stable state, as I headed back to the clinic. It's unusual for her to be here alone. If Tomotaki Flash-san was with her, I could understand, but she'd never come here by herself.
Love the sound of cicadas in the afternoon, don't you, Ben?
There's no symbolism here. What are you talking about?
No symbolism here.
She's perfectly sane. It's fine. For a moment, I thought maybe she suspected a connection between me and Akusaka-san, but it doesn't seem that way. I'm very relieved. This is unusual. What are you doing here?
Nothing, really.
Oh, okay.
I'm just taking a walk.
Seems unsuspicious. I see. It is a nice day today. I bet it's a perfect day for taking a walk. Oh, God.
I wonder if Jiro-san is taking a walk, too.
I wonder if he might take a walk off a cliff. Those birds had a strange nuance to them. Takano-san normally only spends time with Tomotaki Flash-san out of politeness. Does he not, know? Oh, God. At least that's how she's been acting, so when I heard her say that, I was a little surprised. Maybe so. He is from Tokyo. I'm sure he's enjoying the fresh air and the beauty of Hinamizawa.
Director, God. Do you have any idea where Jiro-san went?
Don't tell her shit. Fuck. No, I don't.
He didn't come to the meeting last night. It was a good thing someone else was there to take his place, but he should have been there. He's neglecting his job, don't you think?
He's neglecting me. This is going in the wrong direction. I have to change the subject. Well, I'm sure he needed a little break from you.
Oh, he said it. He's about to.
He was like, taking in the beauty of things. And she's like, I wish he'd taken my beauty. And I was like, I'm sure he needed a little break from you, Takano. Like, come on.
This is what Irie gets from a career of charming on young girls.
It's so bad.
He's just forgotten how people's feelings actually work.
It's like that one guy in Devotion of Suspect X, Kudo. Irie is the Kudo of Hinamizawa.
Great book, by the way.
Great book. That was a very, very good book. Shout outs to
Keigo Higashino.
That one. I was about to ask you if you knew who it was, but I guess you just know.
I do.
I bet he wanted to be away from you and not in your company because he doesn't like you anymore. Just like you.
Ryukishi knew exactly what he was doing when he wrote this page.
This is awful. Irie, you are awful. Oh my god.
Yeah, I can see that.
Wow. I take it back. This is
the title of this episode.
This is the best line in the whole novel. Oh my god.
Holy shit, Ryukishi.
I love how he set this up by being like, I'm sure the Taco and Tomotaco, they don't hang out outside of work. They're just strictly professional. And then he just snowballs it. Anyway.
What a god.
I need to. Sorry. Okay. I'm okay. I see that Fenfel. She didn't. Winter. She's reached her conclusion. She didn't ask about Tomataki Flash sign up to that.
Holy shit, Ryukishi.
The fucking timing on that too. That was brilliant. Oh, now he's just gone.
Tears.
Oh no.
This is the first time Ryukishi's ever made me cry on the show. Holy crap.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I need a minute. My head is swimming. Okay. All right. Now that we've gone through why Irie would not make a good matchmaker.
Correct.
Or lover. Well, maybe lover. Anyway, point is, I need to compose myself.
You do.
Okay. When I look around, I can imagine how lavish the festival is going to be tomorrow. Watanagashi is the biggest festival of the year around here. It's grown in scale ever since the dam conflict ended. And this year, the village festival is hitting a peak. I think that went well. I'm sure villagers of all ages will enjoy themselves tomorrow. Takano-san and I overlook that heart-forming scene. She's just seething. There's little steam lines. Oh god, here it comes. Tomorrow looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it will be fun.
Oh god. The conversation was very ironic. We both meant something different as we spoke. I can hardly wait for the festival to start.
Yeah, a fun festival is about to begin.
I noticed an indescribably bitter smile on her face. I hope it'll be it. Oh, fuck. Now you've got me concerned that
just keep going.
Okay, we'll just have to find out. We'll have to fix this in post. Yeah, okay, good. I hope it'll be a nice day tomorrow. After all these preparations, it'll be a shame if it rains.
They worked so hard to prepare for this grand festival. A little rain won't stop them.
Damn. Yeah, I guess. There'll be a festival no matter the weather, huh?
Yes, there will be a grand festival. I'm sure of it.
Oh, God. Oh, Takano, you nerd.
Why couldn't we just cut the scene there?
That would have been such a good
bookend.
Oh, shit, that said, we got Oishi. Oishi-san had agreed to participate. In other words, he gave us the green light. Boop, 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 boop.
Good job. I bet you had some difficulties.
Well, no, not really. They actually agreed pretty easily. Boy, how nice it is to be young. I was the only one who struggled to make a decision. Pitiful, huh? Oh, we can't turn back anymore. I will give it everything that I have. Keiichi, maybe? Who knows? It could be anyone.
Could be anyone.
Oishi-san was always a man with great presence. He seems pretty reliable when he's that determined. This will work. This operation will be a success. The enemy is unthinkably strong, but we're going on the offensive first. It's like in sumo, right? No matter how huge the opponent may be, there's a chance the entire match can be settled in an instant with a quick shift in stance during the opening rush. Oh! So it's probably Rika then.
Probably.
Here we are. Now we know. See, Rika? See, Rika? Doesn't it feel reassuring to have this many people on your side? Oh, maybe not. I don't intend on defeating you anymore. I was almost ready to give up just a few days ago, but now I can't believe how much the situation has evolved. It just might be possible to change our fate after all. Rika, that's not good enough. You're right. I shouldn't say we might change our fate. We will change our fate. We will win. We will defeat fate! Fighto!
Got a good bit of freshen off that line. That was pleasant.
It's great.
In any case, the timing of our trap is extremely important.
What do you mean timing? We should act immediately. Tonight it'll be 48 hours since Rika-chan disappeared. The longer we wait, the better the position the enemy will be in. So we should act as soon as possible.
Fucking Keiichi. That's true. If we're too careful, that'll give him more time. Our defense ought to be cautious, but our offense ought to be bold. It's very reassuring to have both your seals of approval, so what about it, everyone? No objections. I've sealed my resolve. I'm ready anytime.
Is it time yet? What do you think, Sadako?
What?
We should go with haste, of course, but right now might be a little too hasty. If we are to surprise them, I think we should do it more carefully.
Come on, guys. Give us a decision.
Surprise attack should take place at night. Is there any better timing than now?
Calm down, you're both right. Surprise attacks usually do happen at night. But I look at us now. We're still up even though it's dark outside, right? Night attacks were more effective when there was no electricity. Nowadays, surprise attacks don't have to take place in the middle of the night. There's an even better time than that.
I thought they were going to say we have it arrested and therefore slightly attack now wouldn't give us any advantage, but alright. Is there really a better time for a surprise attack? Oh.
That's right, in the sunrise when you got dramatic lighting for those press shots at the end of the event.
For those horses that we're going to ride on. What if that happened? Oh my god, it's actually happening.
There have been no horses in this story. I won't accept that level of
What if there was a horse sprite? What, that was just one horse
If there was a
sprite?
helicopter gunship, I'd accept that,
I'm
because there
okay
has
with
been
that.
foreshadowing
That is the
for that.
modern horse, after all. I understand. A daybreak sortie, right? Oh, you know some interesting terms, don't you? It is true that the worst time to call someone is not in the middle of the night, but early in the morning. Yeah, people can't even think straight when they're half asleep.
Different
like we are
reasoning,
right
same
now.
conclusion.
Yeah. A surprise attack at dawn. Yeah, that's a great time to do it.
Yeah, I think that'll be the most effective. Knowing how Takano-san is, it's more than likely she'll do something to make it look like the 50 years curse. And she'll try it tomorrow night.
Damn. Ugh. It's normal to try to get plenty of sleep the night before. Look, she gets it! Sleep! Go to bed!
Now I know the perfect time to bring my traps.
A surprise attack at dawn, man, that sounds badass. I've always wanted to do something like that. I'm fired up.
You're just like my man, my person. Hey, does that mean that I am the only man involved who is in sight? Oh my, oh my, oh my. Alright, ready then? The 48-hour operation commences tomorrow at dawn, comrades. The question is how they will react. We'll be confusing them, but once we see the response, we'll attack! This is a raid!
Okay, but what time is dawn?
It's like 5:30, 6.
But if you're higher up a hill, then it's like,
it'll be dawn a little bit sooner. I don't know.
If you're
This
down in the
doesn't
valley,
really
then it's gonna be way
This
later.
isn't World War I where we had to coordinate all the watches or we send thousands of young men to their deaths, okay? It's depressing. Don't watch that movie. Don't watch Gallipoli. It's a depressing movie. I promise this will be different.
Okay, as leader of this club, I now decree that the 48-hour operation is in effect.
Oh shit.
We'll carry out our tasks at 4 a.m.
4 a.m.? That's daytime?
Tomorrow.
That's like daybreak?
Tomorrow morning as opposed to 4 a.m. tomorrow afternoon.
Yes. 4 tomorrow morning or 4 a.m. tomorrow.
It'll get busy all of a sudden. All members should be ready for an immediate response. Prepare yourselves physically and mentally.
Go to bed.
And don't forget, the fate of Hinam is our rides on this battle. I see she had rides like a horse.
Yeah.
The enemy's conspiracy could end up destroying this village.
Like a helicopter gunship into battle.
We'll never let that happen.
Well, we'll see how the enemy will react. Will they become demons or serpents? What? Meep. Maybe they'll become kittens.
How cute of them!
That'd be pretty great. I don't think so. Something huge will happen for sure. Well, this is like a little earthquake. One that's a forewarning of a huge tsunami. You're right. I feel that little earthquake too. But we'll create that huge tsunami ourselves, and either the village or the enemy will be swallowed by it.
We'll ride that huge wave for as long as we can.
Damn right. Time to be a good person. Badass. Trying to be a badass. This 48-hour operation will be a shock to the enemy. They'll panic, their pace will be off, and they're guaranteed to slip up somehow. We don't know how they're going to slip up, but just knowing that they will and preparing ourselves to act gives us the full advantage. We're surrounding our enemies on this huge game board that is Hinamizawa. This festival, will start with our siege. Come on, we're ready. We're ready for June 19th, 1983. And cut! Go now! Cut! Go to the...
Cut.
Oh my god, we're still going! Hey Rika. Had this many emotions ever gathered on this day? Actually, there were always this many emotions in this world. There were always countless numbers of them gathered on this forgotten June 19th. We just never realized it because we always looked at the world subjectively. There are so many people in this world, and each of them has very important emotions. Those countless feelings are collecting together and giving shape to this world, this fragment. With this many emotions, what kind of world will we see? What kind of fragment will we be granted? Who will win? Takano or us? The time to find out is now. Let's open it. Let's open the door to June 19th of 1983.
And scene.
If it keeps going, I'm going to punch someone. Yay! There we go.
Ryukishi really just has no idea how to end a scene. He just has none.
He just wants to keep going, right? He wants to. He has the kitchen sink philosophy. He just wants to. Did we just get 2 achievements?
No, the other one's just the Steam notification.
Oh, okay. Well, that's dumb. What's the achievement?
The door to the 19th, and it had a bunch of balloons or some shit.
Oh, it's a celebration. It's the festival. It's time for the festival.
It's time for the festival.
Next time.